Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the Daily Scan for Friday, April 17th, 2015. Alright, try to keep this one short today. We're going to be hitting the road a little bit later. And I did a lot of talking yesterday on the earnings, the Netflix earnings video. I'm never worn out from talking, though. Obviously, right? So, Thursday's announcements: housing starts not so good, jobless claims not so good. Philly Fed Business Outlook survey, though, looked good, but again, that's just a survey and that's how people feel. And depending on how the questions are asked, they could come out different. So for today, we have the Consumer Price Index, Consumer Sentiment. Another feel-good survey, consumer sentiment, at least just based on its title. Exactly how it works, I'm not sure. I did get a call, it's kind of funny because, well, maybe it's because I don't answer the phone unless I recognize the number, but all these surveys that they supposedly take, I've never been called on any of them except one. Well, once in a while I get one. And it says, please take this survey. It's only 2 questions, blah, blah, blah. And then they ask the question, and it's basically, if you really think this, then would you be willing to send us money? So that's the kind of surveys that I get. I never get any of these surveys that supposedly mean anything. Of course, there's 330 million people, that's including kids, though, and probably people that are just slightly older than me that may not be thinking too well. Of course, I may not be thinking too well either. But anyway, I digress. This is supposed to be a short video. Let's get going here. Across the ponds in Asia. As soon as it comes up here. Come on, Asia. There we go. We look a little to the bearish side here, and in Europe, slightly to the bearish side too. Although the bears are hitting heavy, and the bulls are a little lightweight over there in Europe. And there's some interesting stuff here. I guess I didn't really look at too much of it. Let's jump over and see what's going on here in the U.S. for the open. Looks like it may gap down slightly, so it looks like might be a bearish day. Gold is still above 1,200. Must have sank yesterday, and now it's pulling itself back up again. Oil's at 57.56. Back off, buddy. And the dollar's at 97.48. It's $1.08 against the Europe. Or the euro. Sorry about that. Yesterday, and as a matter of fact, if you watch the video, you can see my order execute on Priceline. I collected $2.50 for it, and I sold it for $1.78. Even though it's going to expire today, I wasn't feeling real confident. There was not a lot of momentum on Priceline. Let's take a peek here. I didn't feel like as though it was moving strong enough in order for me to hang in there for today. So we were able to make a few pennies on this yesterday. As a matter of fact, we got some double reds here. We got a red down on stochastic and confirmation on the MACD. So it was probably just a safe thing to do. Take some profit off the table and be done with it. All right, and we have been talking about earnings plays, so we will be talking a little bit more about that as we advance through the earnings season. And there might be, some relatively safe bets with these back ratio trades that they need to move, and if they move against your direction pick, it's not so bad. You can only lose a couple of bucks. So we might be looking for more like that, and like the thank Taylor for directing my thoughts towards that. Okay, so let's start right off with Apple. I believe we have earnings next week on Apple. We'll see if there might be a play there. The cheaper stocks, the cheaper underlines, seem to work a little bit better with those back ratios. You're not going to make a whole heck of a lot, but if they move big on earnings, I wish there was, if they move big on earnings, then they can be good plays. Okay, so Amazon, also earnings next week. Not going to touch that one. Baidu, earnings the week after next. Here's one of those weird candles with the inverted wick here. I would have to say that Baidu's probably going to be entering into a new downtrend. And their earnings, there's movement here this week, but they have pretty big movements. It's a little bit of a pricey one to do those kinds of plays on, I wouldn't know which direction to pick on it right now. Would you? I mean, this resistance is definitely holding its own here. We had a gap up here, but now it's back underneath it again. Yeah. So anyway, let's move on to Chipotle. Chipotle's really pricey. I don't know that you can do that kind of earnings play on Chipotle. Theirs is coming up this week. And Costco. I don't see earnings on Costco coming up. Yesterday would have been a darn good day to get in on a trade here, wouldn't it? I never even really paid any attention to it. 50 Delta would have been sweet. How did it look intraday here? My system is really slow. Yesterday I had there was an update downloading. Yeah, this would have been a good one to get into. After the open, right about here with a 50 Delta. See if you could get it. Probably have to go to like 145. I don't know how these $1 apart. What are these? Yeah, they're $1 apart. So that would have been probably maybe like 147. And be looking, 147. That's pretty much where it ended up. I'm just taking a guess here. Didn't really move all that much, I guess, if you look at it from that perspective. And that's why things are a little bit choppy here. My guess is that you would have had to go to 147 for the short strike on this, and that may have been a little bit risky. Dow, it's broken out here, and it seems to be hanging in there. Of course, all it has to do is move sideways to stay above this downward sloping trend line here. Gold. I don't really have anything intelligent to say about the Dow, to tell you the truth. And gold here is just really gappy and choppy, and although it looks like it might be kind of settling down in the last couple of days. Google has earnings coming up. That's probably too pricey. LinkedIn, I'm not sure what to think about LinkedIn anyway. I just don't understand why it's so high. But it looks like we're in a downtrend here, and we may have time for a play before earnings comes up here. I don't know. We're going to be into next week and another day, so I'll stay away from that one. Alright, so NDX, I did this 50 Delta on it. Let's see how it's doing. I just did it for fun to see what would happen. Where's my simulated trades here? Oh, there we go. And it's right at... why is it sitting there? Do I have the... right price on my chart. 44.15. It's at 44.18. 44.18. Okay, well, all right. We're pretty much just kind of like hanging in there on that one. We'll see how that moves, though. It will be of interest. Of course, we have Netflix here. Beat that one to death. So now it's a question of what's it going to do over the next week or two, which is about how long we should wait before we decide if we're going to get into it, if anything is viable anymore. Here is Priceline. Got out yesterday. Rut. We're looking, we had a target set down here. It doesn't look like it's going to give us an entry for the time being. So we'll just kind of take a pass on it. Definitely busted through there. Here's our 2 simulated trades on SPX. We actually have 3 simulated trades on it. We have, I'll show you here, we have this December bear call, which is so high and so far out there that, let's reset these. Apparently, here, if you want to reset these. So far out there, why is this here? Let's go there a minute. Reset slices, there we go. Alright, so it's losing a little bit of money right now. And then there are the 2, this one is the May 2 bull put, and then we have the May bull put. And together they are $60. So we're doing okay there. And then last but not least is Tesla. We were looking to do a bull put a couple days ago. Very, very glad did not do that. Now we have a down PPS arrow, so we'll take that alert out of there. And that's it for today. A nice short one on Friday. Let you out early. Hope you have a really good weekend. We'll see you again on Monday. Thanks for watching and happy trading.